Okay, so let's get into the methodologies. There's two methodologies to calculate this number called your EFC, your expected family contribution, right? The first one is the federal methodology. Federal methodology, have any of you heard of the form, the FAFSA, the Free Application for Student Aid? I'm sure all of you have. It is for all colleges. Every single college in the United States is going to take the FAFSA, okay? 3,000 plus colleges. It's for federal aid and institutional aid. And it used to be, well, this year, we completed it starting January 1, but starting this year, which is actually a great thing, it'll be available October 1st, right? So, for anybody here going into their senior year next year, or has a student? Okay, so you're a junior right now? Okay, excellent. So October 1st, the FAFSA is going to become available, and it'll be based on your parents' 2015 tax return. It used to be, like this year, it became available January 1st, 16, and it's based on your 2015 taxes. So you didn't have to fill out your taxes before you started to fill out, but you eventually needed to. So it was always a race to get it done. Now it's prior year. So it's a nice thing. So beginning this year, October 1st.
That'll be the next 2 years, right?
Well, it's going to continue. Much fewer schools use that. There's something, have you ever heard of the form, the CSS profile? Okay. So about 300 schools use the CSS profile on top of the FAFSA to calculate your EFC for institutional aid only, right? The federal government will only always ever use, for federal funds, the FAFSA form. It's for institutional aid only. It's about 300 schools, usually more selective schools, but sometimes not as much, but typically it is. It is completed as defined by the school. It is much more complex. There's a lot more information they ask from you, and I'm going to go through what some of the differences are. But it's really important to know if the schools you're applying to use the CSS profile, because many times the CSS profile is available October 1st, and their deadline many times is earlier than the FAFSA form, okay? And we're going to talk about priority deadline here in a minute, which is another very important thing to remember.